A new Predator crossover comic has been announced. Entering the Marvel Universe, Predator is going to be facing Wolverine. The idea of this fight is not new, there's even a fan-made movie of these two characters fighting, not the first time that Predators have went versus comic superheroes either, having fought Batman and even Superman in comics before. Also Tarzan for some reason. I guess it does fit because of the whole jungle setting, still I'm not a fan of that one. I think the one with the Batman fits the most, at least it's a high trained human with high technology to fight the Predator, while with Superman I'm like, yeah, Predators cannot deal with something like that, it's way too powerful, it's not like in the same level. They must have really messed the power scale in order to make the Predator deal against the Superman in that comic. But I get it that sometimes just to make the plot work for plot reasons, they are always gonna be doing certain things to make the storyline work. Same thing with this new one with Wolverine. In some of the comic versions, Wolverine is way stronger than what we're probably used to seeing in the movies. I assume that he's gonna be winning at the end, not just because of that, but also because Predators are usually the bad guys, while Wolverine for the most part is the good guy, so there you have it. In Melee, I think that Wolverine has some good reasons as why he should win, but against Predator weapons like the Plasma Caster, which is supposed to be pretty strong, I'm not sure about that. It kinda depends on how the writer wants to go with that. It might be damaged by the Plasma Caster, the Adamantium, or not, who knows. And that is exactly Wolverine's biggest advantage, that he is kinda, let's say, not natty, he's not natural. Not all of his superpowers, let's say, he has been born with them. He has been altered to become a super weapon. He wasn't born like this. So the Adamantium does give him like a big advantage over pretty much like anything that also didn't got a surgery to get that. Which makes me wonder right now how a Predator with Adamantium will look like. Pretty overpowered probably. The Wolverine regeneration can of course help, but not in case he happens to get his head blown off by the plasma. I wonder which claws are gonna be breaking here. The Predator has the wrist plates, the Wolverine has his claws. They're quite similar and I do like the contrast between them when they're like fighting. Predator technology is supposed to be pretty strong and almost like indestructible from what we've seen from most of the work, most of the movies and comics, and I wonder how that's gonna be against Adamantium. I think that if he was a Wolverine pre-surgery he would be screwed, but in this situation he is like the Wolverine that we know has, so I think the advantage is probably on his side. This comic is gonna be coming on September. The Predator is gonna be unleashed on the Marvel Universe for the first time. As it's mentioned here, as he visually hunts Wolverine across decades of the Marvel comic history in this new comic. It's gonna be a 4-issue limited series that is gonna be written by Benjamin Percy. The series will reveal a bitter rivalry between Wolverine and a Yautja. They're using this term again. I prefer just having them being called Predators. I've never been a fan of the Yautja name, but well, anyway. There's gonna be this bitter rivalry between the Wolverine and a Predator who has been stalking him since his early days. I think this is pretty cool actually. So apparently it's a fight that has been going on for a long time. Both the Wolverine and the Predator can live for centuries. So it's I think like a good contrast between the characters, not only like the blades that they use for fighting, but also the fact that both are like characters that can live for a long while. I think the idea of that they have been going on, like that there's been like this conflict between these two characters for decades would be very cool. Wolverine has lived one of the longest and most storied lived in comics history, now witness the untold greatest battle of Logan's life against a Predator. One Predator seeks the greatest prey in existence and finds it in Weapon X. From the blood-ridden snows of Canadian wilderness off to the sword-slinging streets of Madripoor, Wolverine and a Predator break everything in their paths on their ultimate way to the ultimate victory or a glorious death. According to the writer, this epic hunt will span decades, as both of these giants learn and harden and grow deadlier with time. Neither will have time to bleed, but you better make time to read because I'm putting everything I've got into this event, and I'm thrilled to join forces with some of the best artists in the business. I'm not a big fan of crossovers with Predators that don't evolve directly like the Alien franchise. I think that the Alien and Predator are two franchises that fit very well together. And with superhero, I'm not a big fan like Marvel, DC, those kind of things. But if this is something that might bring some benefit to the Predator franchise as a whole, I'm all up for it, and it might be interesting to see how these two characters are going to be fighting.